Hi everybody and welcome to the DABBLEDOO Arts Podcast. Each month we talk about a different topic and we give some teachers tips for the classroom and have a little bit of a chat and a bit of fun along the way. Hope you enjoy. Welcome everybody to this month's podcast. My name is Jo and over here we have...
I'm Shane.
We could have think of some witchy names for ourselves, but
We didn't. So
we're all out of inspiration.
I'm getting attacked by this, if you can see. There's an owl above my head. If you're just listening, you won't see it. But we're all decked up in our Halloween outfits.
We sure are. As you can see, if you're watching, we've gone to most effort ever by putting these little hairbands on
Am I
us.
too scary? Is this too scary for people watching? I'm wearing I've got pigtails and I'm wearing a witch's hat. It's not that scary.
It's not that scary. No.
We were chatting earlier on. It's not. Some people think it's all about being scary. It's but the old Irish tradition would have been more dressing up just to disguise yourself, wasn't that it?
Exactly, yeah.
As in-
So you weren't stolen.
Wasn't that it was a part of the fairies?
Yeah.
You were trying to protect yourself from
Hiding.
being stolen, so you'd hide your identity,
Yeah.
wasn't that it? So you could just dress up as anyone else.
As
It didn't have to be
animals,
particularly
as
scary.
ghosts. Yeah, but it did develop into like being really scary.
So there's the kind of old Irish pagan festival, and then there's the modern American
Hallmarky
Halloween,
kind of-
which got more scary, didn't it?
Yeah,
Some
definitely.
Scary stuff. Well,
Especially-
there's some scary stuff in the old Irish traditions as well, I'm sure.
Yeah. I suppose with movies, maybe it just got a little bit scarier and a little
Yeah,
bit.
pretty scary, yeah. So that's what we'll maybe talk about today, because Halloween's kids love it, and they love it in primary schools, and it's a time of the year where you can kind of push it a little bit and go into scary things that you might not talk about or look at during the year, but it's kind of like it's a roller coaster type of effect psychologically, I think, for me, where they can be a little bit scared, but in a nice environment where they know everything's fine and safe. Same with watching horror movies for us. You're watching terrible things happen in a movie, but you feel safe because you're sitting at home with popcorn.
Exactly, yeah.
So I think that's it. So loads of dressing up, loads of fun. We were just talking about our favourite costumes that we've dressed up in over the years.
Okay, and
Any come to mind?
well, actually, I was thinking about it earlier, and I used to hate Halloween because I used to work as an actor, so I spent most of my time dressing up as someone else. So when it came to Halloween, I was like, I'm not participating. So it was a bit of a Halloween Grinch. But then in recent years, it's gotten a lot more fun, you know. So my favourite Halloween costume that I ever dressed up as was a bee, which was just hilarious. I don't know why I decided to be a bee. I think I found a yellow tutu and was like, that'll do.
Great.
And then I had like stripy tights and made like, you know, some antenna with like a hairband, and
Was this for a party or was it for?
it was for a party.
Great.
Yeah. I actually dressed up as a really, really, really old woman, almost like a ghost as well, for a show that I was in around Halloween, and I got like wrinkles put into my face and everything.
Wow.
Like little prosthetics.
I think I've seen pictures of that.
You
When
might
was
have.
that?
Nina.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might have seen
Very
a
good,
picture. But we did like this kind of site-specific show in like an old jail. Like it was pretty freaky. So the children would come in the door, and they all came dressed up as well, and they'd follow around the old jail, and there'd be like a spooky character on
It was
each
a promenade piece, was it?
promenade piece. Yeah,
For people listening, that's when piece of theatre that you walk through, is it, basically?
the audience follows the act.
They do something similar in Causey Farm. Have you been there before? It's an
No.
amazing farm in the Midlands somewhere, I can't remember where.
But actually, my hockey team are meant to go there in October
Yeah.
for Halloween weekend.
It's very cool for Halloween. Apparently they do like a promenade thing, and there's loads of actors that come around and scare you, and they kind of like turn off the lights, and there's someone on a chainsaw with the chain taken out, obviously, but you don't know that.
Whoa,
There's meant to
good
be
to
some
know.
really scary stuff with it.
It's a great hen party venue, apparently.
Apparently, yeah, it's
Yeah.
meant to be great crack. We played a gig there years and years ago. It's a great spot. I'm trying to think of my favourite costume. We used to have famous house parties back in the day when we were in college, and we had a good few of them were fancy dress. What was the I think one year it was film themed. So I dressed up as the old man in Home Alone,
Oh,
which is a good one, no?
brilliant.
So the guy, he's in it a bit at the start, and he turns up I won't spoil it if you haven't seen it, but he turns up at the end. He's a very important character at the end. but he's kind of a scary-ish character in the film as well.
Yeah.
So he just had a big, huge, long trench coat, and the shovel. Remember the shovel that he had? There was an important part about the shovel
flat
in it.
shovel.
Yeah. So that's what I dressed up as.
That's
that was a good one.
Great one. Yeah.
A friend of mine dressed up as, if you know the song by Blur, Coffee and TV, you know that one? The milk carton.
Yeah.
So he dressed up, a very inventive. He's a graphic designer, Chev, so he put a lot of effort into it. But he'd made this whole huge thing out of cardboard, and then he went to get the bus to the party, and he couldn't fit in the bus. So we had to go and get a special taxi van to take him to the party. Or he had to take it apart and put it back together.
Oh,
anyway,
amazing.
Anyway, that was good.
On that note, though, I think it's quite difficult to take you seriously with your current costume and the owl on your head. Yeah. But on that, like, costumes people can really go wild artistically, and then lots of other people just literally hit, buy on Amazon, and they have their costume come to them. And every single, I suppose from a teacher's point of view, every single student is coming from a different background. So I suppose one of the main things to be thinking about is how to make this as inclusive as possible. Yeah. How to make your classroom a safe space where everybody feels like they're as important as the other children, and you don't need to have the €55 to spend on a costume, So I was thinking, wouldn't it be great fun to like spend, an hour someday to say, right, today is the day where we're going to do Halloween today. And we're going to get all our arts and crafts materials out. We're going to create some hairbands, costumes, whatever it is, and let's devise this together. And then we'll put all these characters into a show, and into a scene, put them all into groups, make scenes, and then perform them. And they have a little Halloween day, and they're covering lots of different areas of subjects as well. And they can bring in some songs. So like a little mini Halloween festival where everyone can feel included. Yeah.
And weren't you talking about a parade as well? Like a Halloween parade where they get to dress up and do a parade? Would that be in the classroom?
In the classroom. I mean, like if the whole school involved, go for it. But a costume parade is in one of our lessons. Not a Halloween lesson, but basically you're just like a fashion show of everyone coming up in their costumes and showing it off and posing. And
it's a great idea to use, use kind of your arts and crafts stuff, or get them to bring in things from home, like any cardboard or any old hats or funny things, or glasses are always good fun, aren't they?
Glasses are great.
Change your
ties,
with some glasses,
scarves,
and that'll avoid kind of kids coming in with brand new costumes bought and other kids not having that chance. That's great. Yeah.
I'd say there's a similar thing around book day when they pick a character from their books.
And probably different schools will have different policies on that as well for doing it.
And also that's a good thing as well. Like if there's policies around makeup or masks or anything like that, just to be quite mindful of that, because some kids might be coming in with a full face of ghost makeup, and and other kids mightn't, or allergies and stuff. Is good to be thinking about those things as well. So we were talking about songs as well, songs for Halloween. We have actually, if you go to DABBLEDOO, the DABBLEDOO Spotify account, there's a whole Halloween podcast there, or a whole Halloween playlist, and there's a podcast or a radio show we did, but it's a whole playlist of music from Mussorgsky to the Darth Vader theme. The Mussorgsky one is a tune called Baba Yaga, and it's from Baba Yaga is this kind of witch type character from like the Slavic tradition. So actually one of the lessons we have this year, they listen to the piece of music and they have to draw what they think Baba Yaga looks like. So there's a bit of crossover with the art program there. There's a good few crossovers with the art. Well, we try and do as many as we can, but there's a lot of crossovers between art, drama and music this time of year. But the Baba Yaga one's great. It's from pictures at an exhibition by Mussorgsky. People might know some of that. But look up the Baba Yaga part, it's great. And it's a short little piece as well, so it's a nice short little piece of classical orchestral music for the kids to listen to. The Darth Vader theme is always good fun. That's kind of an evil sounding theme and a famous baddie. This is Halloween is another one. Any stuff from that film from the Tim Burton. And that crosses over with art, drama and art as well. I think Maureen in the art program has a lesson all about Tim Burton, and that's one of those examples. There's some quite scary stuff in that. The intro song, "This is Halloween," there's some really scary little bits in it, but it's Halloween, so you can get away with it. But probably just for the older classes, maybe some of those bits. Yeah, 4th class up. I find as well sometimes 5th and 6th class can come across as being like really mature, and then you're doing something, you're like, oh, you kind of remember. Actually, you're only 11 or you're only 12. I remember doing the scene with some Halloween scenes with some kids in a school in Dublin, and they did a Halloween scene, and then one of them started singing Ring a Ring a Rosie really slowly, and it was the spookiest thing.
Oh my God.
They were only about 8, like, and
Where did they come up with this idea of singing the
all on their own?
Spooky, wow.
And it was just so slow. Ring a ring, and it was really spooky, like, but they did it all on their own, so I had to obviously be mindful of the people watching it in the audience and check in with everyone, but they were all well able. They created it themselves as well.
I remember working with the National Youth Orchestra, who were they were starting at 12, so they were
teenagers
and older kids, and we showed them Jurassic Park. Again, I was like, this is an old film, you won't be scared by this old film, but there's some scary bits in Jurassic Park.
It's funny when you look back at things as a grown up, like, and you're like, oh, gee, Mark, how did I watch that?
But also you think, the old special effects and all that won't have them fooled, but they did.
Well, my sister notoriously was afraid of Teen Wolf, and she's never lived it down.
I don't think I've seen Teen Wolf.
Yeah, it's not that scary. Well, I mean, she was very scared at the time.
Is there any other cartoons or films that kids could watch? So this is Halloween, some great scenes and things, and the songs and that are amazing, all great. Any other bits and pieces of films, or like the other songs we have? We got Larry Bow to write a couple of songs specifically for us for Halloween. There's also loads of music from Jamaica that's based around Dracula and Frankenstein. There's a few songs. Scalloween, a ska band called the Scatolites, have a great song called Scalloween as well. The Specials, Ghost Town.
Yeah, there's loads of ghost songs, isn't there?
There's a few ghost songs, yeah.
Are you a fan of the Addams Family?
The Addams Family is great.
Yeah, there's some great costumes in that as well.
And there's been a few reboots of that, so a lot of the kids might know that.
Yeah. And there was, I think, Wednesday, that's actually shooting a second season, I think, in Wicklow at the moment. So they did a season. I haven't seen it though, but it's meant to be very good. Based on the character from the Addams Family.
Oh, Wednesday was the girl.
Wednesday Addams, yeah. Christina Ricci was that who played it. So yeah, I suppose as well, if teachers are trying to find inspiration for their costumes, they could think about a story they're working on at the moment, or something like, from a film they love. And again, I suppose if they can like create a costume that's from their home, or even make it with this class, wouldn't that be great to show how they can, make it from scratch together and find old things that you have, old clothes, old scarves, and put it together and make a fun costume.
Yeah. I'm getting caught in this all again.
You can take off your hat if you want to.
There's loads of there's great. Pity Maureen isn't here this month with us, but there's loads of amazing art stuff that she's done. It's kind of a great time for that. In the classroom as well, like there's so many things they could do. I think Halloween, is almost the biggest time of year.
Do you think it's bigger than Christmas?
Schools. It seems to be. Yeah, I don't know what it is. When I was a kid, Christmas was the biggest by far. Yeah, but I think kids today get so excited by Halloween. I think it might be a bigger thing than it was in our day.
Yeah, I think it is now, but it can be so appealing and so much fun. And I suppose that's another thing that, like, to give like teachers and pupils just that little bit of like flexibility around like lessons and school time, because it's quite festive, and just have a bit more fun and let go a little bit more. And
I think it's probably quite an accessible time of year for everyone, because it's addressing, it's not a religious festival per se. There's religious festivals behind it, but mostly people think of it as just a secular kind of fun day. So maybe the same way as Christmas, might not be celebrated in some schools. They might have to. So so Halloween's probably a day where everyone can get involved and have some fun. But we always find out there's so much. Teachers and kids are going mad for resources and lessons and ideas around Halloween. It's great.
I was just on that accessibility as well, just I suppose to be mindful of certain students who might have some issues around too much noise or sound, or even I suppose textures that might be involved in making the costume. I suppose just to be mindful of those things as well for the teachers. And do you have plans for Halloween?
Bit of trick-or-treating. Yeah, trick-or-treating in Dundalk. We're on a new street now up and down, so it's kind of an old Victorian street, so it'll be a good street for Halloween.
Yeah, it'll be busy.
It's misty and there's a full moon out, and that kind of stuff.
I can already smell Halloween in the air. Yeah.
Where? From the fireworks?
No, there's just that smell when it's getting into autumn, wintry vibes.
But also, if you're around Dublin, there's a lot of fireworks going off already.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. They're doing their collections already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in a new housing estate as well, so it's going to be, they're already talking in the WhatsApp group, like, what's the plan for Halloween, you know?
Oh yeah, they're going to have a big fire out in that.
I
Because
don't
there's
know
organised fires all around the country now, which is
Yeah.
great for people to go to.
Yeah, and our stories in our, we've got some really good Halloween stories this year, a few new ones in from our friends at Candlelit Tales.
Okay,
So
great, and the
about
lessons,
the fire and yeah, I won't go into too much details, but it's lovely stories about Samhain and where it came from and all those different origins of it. Yeah, it's great.
Great.
The veil is thin. I suppose that's why it is kind of paganistic though as well when you think about it. Like the veil is thin between the two worlds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is,
and it's a good kind of landmark date for teachers in the middle year, because once you get to Halloween,
then
the next thing is just you're getting straight into your Christmas lessons,
yeah,
and then it's nearly summer then, isn't it?
and then
You know, once Christmas is over, then you go on to springtime.
Yeah.
Because I used to remember when we were teaching, I used to teach guitar. So in the school, we were all teaching music, particularly, and it'll be the same for teachers out there who are getting ready for Christmas concerts and Christmas events, or any kind of wintertime festivals you're having. That as soon as Halloween's finished, you need to start practicing songs and practicing things. So as soon as we finished, in the music school, as soon as we finished Halloween, it was Christmas songs for the next month and a half.
How joyful.
It was good. You got into it nice and early.
Yeah. I suppose for teachers now at the moment, they're like, they're counting down the days to the midterm, I'd say, you know, because it is a busy term, like getting everyone settled.
It's a very busy term, yeah.
And
things kind of calm down a bit once you get everyone settled, once they get to Halloween, the midterm.
And maybe all the flus are out of the way and the ear infections and the tummy bugs.
You're kind of used to your new class as well and everything. You're kind of settling in. So it's a nice time to get a break.
Yeah.
And then, as I said, it is a really nice time when you can get back after Halloween and you're going, okay, we're settling into this, and then we're into Christmas.
Yeah, probably 6 weeks,
or
maybe.
The winter holiday, yeah.
Although there are 5 weeks in October. It's a bit of a longer.
It's a long one.
It's a long month.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So was there any other things around Halloween? Scariest instrument? You asked me. Did someone ask me that earlier on?
What do you think is the scariest instrument?
What do you think is the scariest instrument?
I think
you said straight away. What did you
organ.
say? Organ, yeah. That's probably, it's the first song on our playlist is J.S. Bach has the toccata and fugue in D minor, which is a famous that one, which is on the organ, which is that's probably
spooky, isn't it?
Spooky, yeah. Well, it's a big kind of huge instrument in a church, and the kind of atmosphere and the reverberation. That's pretty spooky, yeah.
What do you think is?
I'd agree with you, yeah. I can't think of any other instruments that would be instantly, when you hear them, like going, that's a bit spooky. It depends on the context, doesn't it? You know?
I think Sophia thinks it's a violin, do you? No?
If you listen to, a set of uilleann pipes playing in the woods when you're walking through, you go, where's the uilleann pipes come from?
Depends on the atmosphere, right?
So some great, actually, traditional Irish kind of folk stories and ghost stories that we must look at putting into the lessons as well, about things like that, about pipers hearing strange tunes coming from odd places, like hearing them when they're out at sea in the middle of a boat and they hear music coming from places. And
I mean, what do you think about all the banshees and all those kind of different superstitions?
Yeah, they're all great, and there's not many songs about them, actually, because I've always trying to research songs, traditional Irish songs around Halloween. There's not many songs. There's a few tunes that would have been learned from the good people or the fairies, and there's the Lilting Banshees, a famous tune, but there's not actually many actually traditional songs, but we can always try and add some more. But as I said, there is that whole playlist on Spotify, which is great for even playing in the classroom. Yeah,
and for playing spooky statues, which is musical statues.
How do you play that?
So it's musical statues with a spooky twist. So you play the song, and then you might play one of the songs from the playlist, and then you have to freeze, but in like a position of a character from Halloween that you might relate to. So you could do like a witch, or you could do ghost. We also have a Halloween warm-up, which is very, very fun. All about collecting all the sweets and trying not to eat them all in the one night.
Great. We used to do, I'm just reminded of when we played in a band, we used to do Pass the Parcel in this party band that I played, just for a bit of fun. But at the Halloween gig, we used to play Ghostbusters, and we used to do stop, and every time we stopped, the person would take off a bit of the or a layer of the parcel.
Great.
So we could have played the statues one.
Yeah.
Bum bum ba-da-dum bum 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 ba-da-dum bum. Stop. So Ghostbusters, actually, there's some great old ones like Ghostbusters as well, all on that playlist. Right.
So, on to the most important thing. Do you have any Halloween jokes?
Do I have any Halloween jokes? I'll think. Maybe you tell one and I'll see if I can remember one while you're telling it.
Okay. Why did the skeleton not go to the party?
I don't know.
Because he had no body to go with.
No, I know. Very good.
I know. Like, I think when I go, I feel like such a dad. I love bad dad jokes.
I can't think of Halloween jokes. I'm sure there's loads.
Yeah. Great to get the kids up to say different jokes as well.
Some jokes at Halloween.
Yeah.
We don't have the kind of Christmas cracker style jokes at Halloween. I'm sure there's loads of great skeleton jokes and ghost jokes. Right, people can send those into us.
Yeah, send them into us on our Instagram.
So I think that's it.
One other thing, I was just thinking about the kids coming in with their costumes on. It's like, it can be a great chance to like use different voices and really get into the characters, you know, and maybe, you know, talk about pitch, whether it's a high pitched character or a nice and deep voice, or, you know, they can play around with different like pauses that they might use, so they can really use their voice as well as their costume, and to really get into it. And
you've got loads of stories that they can kind of take on different characters and do all that. Yeah, it's going to be great fun, so enjoy it. Any teachers listening, enjoy the run up to Halloween.
Enjoy the midterm break,
and we'll be back with another podcast in November, coming into Christmas. Brilliant. Wonderful. Coming into the winter period, because we've got loads of nice we've got a couple of interesting treats and things that we're going to send out to schools for winter this year.
Trick or treats.
And we've got a whole new Christmas show, which we'll talk about when we get back in November. That's really exciting, because we have our winter show. Actually, we have a Christmas show already, the Quest for the Jingle, but we're going to have a winter show that we're going to be putting out to schools, a whole online show for schools, so you can keep an ear out for that one. That's like, you know, the podcast or the influencers, and they're like, you know, watch this space, we've got something coming for you. But we do got something in the pipeline. So very exciting. Enjoy the midterm break, take some breaks, rest, get out into nature. And we'll see you soon.
Thanks a million.
Bye.